Great. So we are recording. I am going to allow our distinguished faculty to introduce themselves first before we get into the overview of our program. So with that, Darren, you're up first. So.
Hi, good evening. My name is Narmin Bayazet. I'm a professor in the mathematics department here at Fitchburg State University. My background is actually my building, Julie Hall. I'm one of the co-PIs of the NSF STEM program. My specialty is actually in teacher education, and I usually work with our future elementary, secondary, middle school teachers. But in this program, I'm working with our STEM scholars who are pursuing professions in the STEM fields. I think that's all I have. I'm going to turn it to Hefe.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar session. My name is Hefei Chiu. I am an assistant professor in computer science department at Fitchburg State University. I'm also one of the co-PIs of this as a STEM scholarship program. So I'll keep it short, and I will turn it over to Chris.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Chris Kratzley. I'm a professor of biology in the Department of Biology and Chemistry. And I am also one of this team of 4 who are helping to run this grant. And thank you so much for joining us today. I'll now turn it over to our fearless leader, Neerajan.
Thank you, Professor Kratzley. Hi, everyone. Good evening. We would like to welcome you in this great sessions. I'm Neerajan Mani. I'm associate professor and department chair at Engineering Technology Department here at Fitchburg State University. I'm the principal investigator for this program, and we are happy to answer all of the questions that you have about this program. And we hope that you will be the one who will be getting this opportunity in this program. So I'm happy, and we all team members are happy to answer your questions here today. Thank you.
And I'll jump in and just give you a brief overview. Also, certainly give my colleagues here a chance to chime in if there's something important that I missed. But remember, we definitely want to allow time for you to ask any questions. So you've heard us referring to this as the STEM Scholars Program. And the first S in STEM Scholars refers to scholarships. So any student like yourselves who is accepted to Fitchburg State University and has a high academic standing in high school is invited to, and I should say, and is applying for a major in biology, chemistry, computer science, computer information systems, mathematics, or engineering technology. And of course, we have in some of those programs, we have multiple different concentrations in engineering technology and in biology. Anyone applying into those programs, with the exception of students applying into specifically our education programs in those majors, are welcome to apply to become an STEM scholar. And of course, again, as I was starting to say, the first S in STEM scholar is scholarships. These are scholarships provided through generous funding from the National Science Foundation. And these funds support all of the unmet need of any of our students up to a maximum, I believe it's of $15,000 or a maximum of $15,000 per year. All of the unmet need that you have up to that amount for your 4 years while you're here at Fitchburg State. We are currently recruiting for our second cohort. A cohort refers to sort of the group that we bring in of mostly incoming freshmen. So we had a group of 8 students we brought in, 7 freshmen and 1 transfer student we brought in our first cohort. And we're now recruiting for our second cohort, which will be, hopefully include some of you. And what we're looking for is people willing and interested to fill out an additional application essay. It's a very brief essay to tell us about your interest, but I'll let my colleague Neerajan tell you a little bit more about that. I want to tell you just a couple more things about the overall program, because the scholarships, just as it is the first S in STEM, is for many the most important thing, but we do offer a lot of other ways that we want to support our students when they come into this program. The STEM in STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You've probably heard it, at your high school referenced as well. And we're trying to help anyone in this program to build their career pathways in one of those STEM disciplines, and one of those science, technology, engineering, mathematics disciplines. And so in order to do that, we work, all of us, as mentors, and we also have additional faculty mentors who meet one-on-one every other week with our STEM scholars our STEM scholars, to talk about how you're doing with your classes, to talk about anything, how you're doing with life, but also very critically to help you think about how you can continue to progress towards a successful career in the STEM discipline that you're interested in. And beyond that, Nerman and I run every other week seminars. So the weeks you're not meeting with your faculty mentor, you're meeting with the whole group of STEM scholars in seminars where we connect you with resources related to careers, help you think about what you might be most interested in and what really matters to you in STEM, what we sometimes refer to as your STEM identity. And so in doing that, we really hope, and we've found so far through our first cohort, that students really build good bonds with each other, strong bonds with us, and also get some really good insights into what they might pursue. We also have, through this first cohort, we've had some peer mentors, some upperclassmen working with them, and you as a new incoming class would have an opportunity to work with our first cohort, to meet together with them and learn from their experiences as they proceed as sophomores in the program and you come in as freshmen. So I think that kind of covers all the other things. I guess the last point is that we have begun to also have delicious food like pizza at our STEM seminars. That's coming up tomorrow. We're going to be doing that with our group of current freshmen, and so we hope to do the same thing with you next year. So I'll turn it over now to Neerajan to talk a little bit more about the application process.
Thank you, Professor Grassley. So I'm going to share this link of the website. Probably you already have that. So as per our applications, you are eligible if you pursue a major in biology, chemistry, computer science, computer information system, engineering technology, or mathematics. You are not eligible if you are planning to choose teacher licensure track. So if you demonstrate your financial need through your Pell Grant eligibility criteria as per the FAFSA applications, and if you are citizens of the United States, nationals of the United States, or eligible non-citizen admitted as a refugee or lawfully admitted to the United States for permanent residence. And as Professor Chris already mentioned, your scholarship amount will be calculated by the FAFSA, Office of Financial Aid Office, based upon your unmet financial need. And the scholarship cover up to $15,000 per year, up to 4 years of your study here. And there are some selection criteria that we have. Your first criteria is about your academic talent and potential. So your high school or college GPA is supposed to be 2.7 or higher. And we also review your college or high school transcript, faculty recommendations from your high school or college for the transfer students. And we would like to see your after-school activities participations, if you engage in any student club active participations, any community services. Also, we would like to see that. And you have to submit a personal essay describing your STEM program interest. We would like to help you. We encourage you to share your story honestly with your one word. In the essay, you can say that you can answer the questions like what first sparked your interest in STEM, like STEM program. Like you may describe your people, your experiences, your challenges, your moments that influence you, whether in school, at home, or work in your community. You can also answer the questions like where do you hope a STEM degree will take you in 5 to 10 years. You may reflect on your goals for yourself, your family, your community, and how a STEM career could support those goals. You can also answer questions like, what opportunities are you most looking forward to during your college experiences? Like you can mention your classes, your research, internship, mentoring, networking, or support programs, and why these opportunities matter to you. So you can just briefly mention these things in your essay. If you need help, additional help for the essay writing, please reach out to us. We can help you. And based upon your academic backgrounds, your unmet need requirements, your financial need, you will be selected by our team members. Thank you.
So let me jump in for a moment for our students here. As we've talked about, as Dr. Mani had put in the chat, there was the link to our informational page about the STEM Scholars Program. So talked about the criteria. Also on that page is the link to our online application. It is a very basic, very simple application, some basic information that you're putting in when submitting that. A lot of the materials that we are asking for are things that you have already provided us in your college application in being accepted to Fitchburg State. So don't be like, oh no, here comes another long college application process, because really almost everything has already been submitted. So your application, we certainly, our team, our faculty here see your college application. We see your transcript, just like we did in the admission office when you were accepted. Any letters of recommendation that you submitted for your application are honored for this scholarship as well. So we don't need additional letters of recommendation. The only thing that is an additional piece is the STEM essay that Dr. Mani spoke about. You can actually attach that as a Word document right to your application when you fill it out, and that comes that comes directly to me to add into your application materials. So it's not a heavy lift with a large application process. And to Dr. Mani's point, and really for all of our faculty, the essay is really about learning about your passion, your interest in STEM, where you see yourself, really how you see yourself engaged in those opportunities. So it really can be, it's not one particular topic. Just like anything, when you're applying to a college, like we're trying to learn more about you as a student, as an individual in your interest. So as a follow-up to this session, just so you know, I will be sharing that. I will be following up with an email to all of you, including the link that we put in the chat here, just so you know that you have that as well. And just one other thing about timeline is we are looking to make these awards in mid-March. So we do have a priority deadline of March 1st to be able to submit your scholarship materials, your application and your essay and whatnot. If there's anything that was missing for some reason, I will reach out to you personally and let you know. But for most of you, it's just submitting that the STEM application and attaching your STEM essay. That's really the big thing, because everything else we already have. So just wanted to jump in and clarify that for you too. Go ahead.
And I'll jump in because I realize there's something that I left out of my discussion here. I talked about our seminars and I talked about meetings with faculty mentors, but I failed to mention that one of our big goals for all of our students in this program also is that they engage in different kinds of learning experiences outside the classroom, things that we call internships and research experiences. And so we have, since we only have the first cohort that are still freshmen, they're just going to soon get started on those kinds of experiences. But we want you to know that that's a big part of the program. And so as you think about, it also connects to, writing your essays. You think about your essay, you might think about what are the types of things you would like to learn more about in a STEM field that maybe you couldn't learn about in a classroom. I noticed that at least one of you has expressed an interest in being pre-dental. Another has expressed an interest in being pre-med, and certainly as a Fitchburg State student in biology and chemistry, you would have a dedicated advisor who would be willing to talk to you and help you and support you in pursuing that pathway. Our role here, if you're part of this grant, is to get you thinking even more broadly about all the other kinds of experiences that you could have in biology in particular, but certainly in any STEM discipline that could help to prepare you. I'll just give you one sort of simple example of that. My first NSF grant, many years ago, was for my research that I do on fireflies. And I had a student who worked for me for 3 years studying fireflies. And he went on, applied to medical school, is a doctor now. And so, the truth is that the path you take and the interest that you express, you can do a lot of different things and learn about science a lot of different ways that can be very appealing, whatever grad program you might pursue in the future, as long as you're really showing them that you have that kind of passion to really dig deeply into things. He got opportunities to present at national conferences. He got opportunity to co-author papers, and those are the kinds of things that whatever graduate program you might pursue are valuable to you. So we will be, as I said, you would have other advisors willing to help you with that path, and we will be encouraging you to explore lots of different opportunities in biology. We're building partnerships with biotech companies that make life-saving drugs and have opportunities in their labs. So just to point out that that's another really important part of this, and part of why we want to hear what you are, what really interests you and what you're passionate about in your essay, so that we can get a sense of how we might be able to support you in pursuing things you're interested in. So it might not just be that you're pre-dental or pre-vet, but it might be, what about that interests you? What first got you into that? What first got you interested in it? So at any rate, I hope that's clear, and we're certainly happy for any of your questions.
Okay. So we've certainly done the bulk of the talking as we've started here. But the most important thing we want to do is to make sure, if you have questions for our guests, for our students here tonight, that you ask those questions. So if any of you have a question, please feel free to, again, you can raise your hand or hit the raise your hand button to ask that, or drop it into the chat, and we are happy to answer those. So give folks a moment to do that. And we'll go from there. If you don't have a question, that is okay, because we also know that sometimes questions happen after we get off of the webinar, or as we're having conversations with our family members or whatnot. And I do want to let you know that we are here to answer those questions anywhere along the way. That's the most important thing that we can do here at Fitchburg State, is aside educating our students, but for our new students looking to come in, we want to make sure that you have all the answers to the questions that you have in making the best decision for you, which we hopefully will have you finding your new home as a student here at Fitchburg State. So are there any questions from our audience? Again, monitoring chat or looking for hand raising. I will give it a few seconds. I also don't believe in the awkward silence that can often happen when we're waiting to see if somebody's going to ask a question. So
I'll also jump in. If you're at all unfamiliar with this particular interface for communicating, and you don't know how to raise your hand or how to access the chat, also you can just turn on your mic and jump in with a question too. That's fine.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so seems like we don't have any questions right now, which I always attribute to the panel doing a great job in making sure that they've said everything and hopefully provided the answers that you needed. Again, we will share a copy of this recording to all of our guests to go back and reference, as well as we will follow up with the link to the STEM Scholars Program page that was in the chat to make sure you have that information for reference as well. And, Norman, go ahead.
Probably we're gonna say, but on our website, if you want to reach out to any one of us, you will see at the bottom of the page each of our bios with our contact information. So if you will have any specific questions to any one of us, you can also find our information there.
Thank you for that.
And I'll just raise one other point. Please don't let my example of fireflies get you thinking that that's the only kind of opportunities. As you look at the bios on our website, you'll see, even amongst our faculty mentors, we have people studying fish, everything from fish biology to the genetics of eye disease. And then if you look more broadly at our faculty, because you would have access to any of our faculty on campus to do research, you'll see that they do countless things, from people who study the genes associated with cystic fibrosis, to people who study how silver nanoparticles, impact plant growth. So a whole host of different options, and certainly different disciplines too. I'm only talking about biology and chemistry here, never mind the host of possibilities with mathematicians, people in engineering technology, people in computer science, and then the external opportunities that we would love to foster for you with partner companies in the area. So.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank our guests for joining us today. I also like to thank our faculty here for making time to come in and share their insights about the program. Again, these are the, members of our faculty that you'll be working with as part of this program. I have to say that one of the incredible strengths that we have here at Fitchburg State is the experience of our faculty and their commitment to students being successful here. So this is just one small example of a very large group of dedicated faculty here to support our students through their journey. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us. Wish you a great evening. And again, anything that we can do, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us as you're considering this great opportunity. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.